All right, Kathy, it's 6:29. Do you want to kick us off?
Okay, welcome, my department chairman. First, let me tell you that you have done an outstanding job this year. I've been so proud to be able to head you guys up. I've learned a tremendous amount from you this year, and I was telling somebody else, you're not teachers, you're my educational rock stars because you've just done so well this year, and you should all pat yourselves on the back. And I think, Sue, you would agree with me that they've done a good job this year.
Absolutely.
Having
Absolutely.
said that, having said that, I don't want you to quit. Just because your departments are having their conventions and you feel like you're going out of office, you do not leave office until July. Work right up to July and then pass on the mantle. Having said, we worked 12 months. You do the same. And the last thing I'd like to say to each of you is each of you should volunteer to be a mentor next year. You know so much now and you've accomplished so much this year. It's a shame just to let go of it and let it go hanging. So consider being a mentor to your income to help them pick up running rather than trying to stroll along, trying to catch up. They'll be appreciative of it when the time comes that they realize that what a big help it was. So other than that, tonight I'm excited to be here because I want Sue to tell us some of the ideas that the National Home has that we can be doing for these last few months. Some of us have not, some of our auxiliaries are not Homefront heroes yet. And that's a big deal because it's definitely. Another one is the Veterans Center. We did an outstanding job getting the money in to get the Veterans Center done, but now they need computers. They need to have some type of Wi-Fi service and so forth. So we're not done there trying to get money in to help them get that going. So that needs to be done. And if any of you, and probably all of you, have had kids, you know what the summer months bring. All of the kids have got to have summer clothes and summer activities and this and that. So those are all areas that we can be concentrating on and helping our national home move into the summer months and let our new ambassadors next year pick up back to school. But we will be in charge of getting the kids through summer this year. So other than that, I will be sending out next week your status reports so you know where you stand. And just to let you know, all of your chairmen in your department should have sent you in their reports for the national awards that's due by the end of March. So make sure you send out a notice to let all your auxiliaries know that there's any if they want to enter into competition. Once you get those reports in, then you would judge the ones that you think in your department are the best, and then you'll send the best one to me. And if you have any questions about that, you can always call me or send me an email and I'll explain it. But with that, Sue,
Great.
My housekeeping, you go on and you tell us what we can do to help you.
Great. I appreciate that, Kathy. First, I'd like to give a shout out to Kathy for continuing this meeting that actually it started with Donna Ralston's year, and I'm hoping that the new national ambassador will continue it. And that's why it's for anybody who wants to join. So feel free to share the link with any member, anybody that wants to learn more about the national home. But I will always give the auxiliary Buddy Poppy National Home Chairman, kind of the stage, because that's how this whole thing started. And Kathy's done a great job pushing our Homefront heroes. That is one of our strategic plan in fundraising and development, my department. That's one of our strategic plan areas of growth. So, and again, I'm hoping that the new Buddy Poppy National Home Chairman will carry on with that. As you know, it takes a long time to get messages down through the channels. So I think it just works really well if we just kind of keep the same message for a given period of time. So I would like to, first of all, I have the Chief of Staff is with us, Lynn Bloomer, and she's going to talk about, I mentioned briefly when I first got on that we have District 9 and 12 that's up for election. So I'm going to introduce Lynn Bloomer, our chief of staff, and she's going to talk briefly about that.
Good evening, everybody. So I am Lynn. I'm the chief of staff, and part of my duties is to work on trustee elections every year when their cycles come up. And this coming year, we have District 9 and District 12 that are open. District 9 is comprised of Minnesota, Nebraska, and North and South Dakota. That position is currently held by Steve Van Bergen. And then District 12 consists of California, Hawaii, Idaho, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. And that's currently held by Renee Falk. They've both been in this position. This coming October will be 6 years. So their terms are coming up. These terms are a 6-year commitment to the national home. That's what we ask for. Sometimes emergencies come up and people aren't able to fulfill, but we do ask for a 6-year commitment. Starting in January, every month, I send an email to the State Department leadership for the open positions, open trustee positions, letting them know that their district is open and that they are able to send recommendations to the home for trustee. We currently have 2 interested candidates for District 12 and none for District 9 right now, but the applications are due June 1st into the national home. So if you are from District 9 or 12 and are interested in sending somebody that you feel would be a good asset for the national home ambassador in your district, we'd love to have a chat. The qualifications to run are located on our website under the leadership tab if you're looking for them, or you can email me and I can send them to you. Or you can call. My number's on the website on the leadership tab, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have to see if it's the right position, something that you might be interested in. So we have 12 trustees on our board, and they rotate out. 2 rotate out every year. So it's always a continual flow of new board members, and just looking for somebody that wants to fill big shoes with Renee and Steve this year.
Lynn, would you take a moment and describe the job?
Well, I think Keith Jackson's on here. He'd probably be a better person to describe the job when you're out in the districts, but basically it's like I said, it's a 6-year commitment, and your job is to fundraise for the home, get the word out for the home. You would travel within your districts, going to like mid-year conferences, state conferences, VFW posts. It's creating awareness of the national home, finding veterans at the very local level that might need services from the home, that may be qualified to come live at the home. It's about fundraising for the home. It's a volunteer position, so it's a big commitment for a 6-year commitment. When it's volunteer, but the national home pays for all the travel to your conferences and department when you're going to represent the national home, so you don't incur any cost at that level. We do pay for that. And I don't know, Keith, if you want to pipe in and offer any experience as a trustee, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, well, thank you, Lynn. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
I'm Keith Jackson. I'm the District 1 trustee, and I see Art is there, the District 2 trustee. So
Okay.
I think Lynn pretty much summed it all up. I'll tell you, it's a very rewarding job. You really see all the work that you do, how it actually plays into the national home. The big push that we're really responsible for is the states that we cover down. In my case, I have all the New England states. And we travel between the states, and we actually promote the national home. We set up at the Eastern Conference or other functions. We just set up at the legislative conference, and we talk about the national home, and we get more awareness out there, our programs and fundraising efforts that we're actually doing. And then, of course, we do all the administrative work that's needed at the national home that the trustees are responsible for. But really, to be honest, it is a fun and rewarding job. So if somebody's interested, I guarantee you they'll have a good time. Thank you.
Thanks, Keith.
Art, did you have anything different than Keith? Hopefully not anything too drastically different.
You can talk about working with us too.
You can tell them how much fun that is.
Well, I was always told if you didn't have nothing nice to say, not to say it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute Keith
Oh.
now. Did you have anything,
there?
Art?
I didn't know you were waiting for me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is a rewarding job. I mean, it's travel's involved and put up with a lot of little things going on here and there. But overall, it's a nice experience.
Good.
But everybody's also left out about going to the national conventions too. We set up a booth there, and you know, we're there for the 5 days or 6 days.
Yep.
It's a big undertaking.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Art. When we first got on, we were talking about, we're just getting into our season now. I showed them like out the
Excuse me,
window.
Sue. Hey, I
What's
think
that?
Barbara Moore has a question. She's waving her hand across the screen.
Excuse me, Sue.
Yeah.
Can we ask who you have running, or is there some way to make sure the person I'm thinking of has gotten their paperwork in? How do I do that? From Washington, we have a candidate.
Is it Rick?
No,
Okay, because he's not. So I don't know, Lynn. I'll let Lynn speak to that.
Washington, I'm gonna take a guess here, but I think it's Nikki.
yes, you have her paperwork that the
Yes.
president was supposed to do.
Yes,
Oh,
I do
good.
have that one.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad she's on the ball. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were talking about the events coming up. We're starting in Michigan. I told them we had a blizzard last weekend, and now we got spring coming. We got Junior Vice, and we talked about that. And Kathy had an idea. When we kick off these virtual meetings again in September, we will try to do a virtual tour. Sometimes the internet gets a little choppy on that, but we'll definitely try. And then Art had mentioned convention. That's a big one. Hopefully everybody's going to Phoenix in August. Sounds awesome. So another thing that you guys can help us do is to get with your membership and make sure that if they are not getting emails from us, that they reach out to us, because in the fall, we're going to be, not only are we going to be voting for the trustees that Lynn just explained, we're also going to be doing a full life membership vote, and it's all electronic now. And that's going to be for the articles of incorporation and bylaw changes. There's some updates that need to be done. They haven't been done in a long time. So that's a biggie. Is again, if somebody hasn't heard from us, it means that we do not have their email, because we communicate at least monthly via email.
And
So
that's with all auxiliaries?
Yes, everybody. Yep, it could be not just the organizations, but individuals. Yep. Okay, next I'd like to introduce Angie Harkins. She's our program director. And I do have the eligibility. I thought that's something we could briefly talk about if I can share that screen. Because we have 7 open houses. Hold on, I'm sorry, I got somebody saying they can't get on here. So we would love to help a veteran family in your area. And let me find. I see you. I'm going to share the application process, Angie. Is that good?
Yeah, do you want me to go through it, or do you
That'd
want
be-
me to do the 3 lanes of eligibility, or both?
Both would be great.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. As Sue said, I'm Angie Harkins, the program director at the home. So there's 3 lanes of eligibility to be able to live at the national home. The first is currently serving in the armed forces, which includes the reserves and National Guard. The second is veteran. Veterans can apply to live there. And then the third is auxiliary member, which we call the legacy family. So all 3 of them, you have to have children under the age of 18 that live with you, that you either have joint custody of or live with you full time and will be moving to the home with you. And then, are you going to pull that? Okay, there you go, Sue.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 lanes of eligibility. So currently serving reserve and guard of veterans, and then the legacy, the auxiliary families. So what happens is somebody hits the helpline button or calls the 1-800 number, and our helpline person answers the phone, and they find just general background of the person that's applying, you know, if they meet the eligibility requirements. And then if they do meet those requirements, we ask for a DD-214 to show that they're a veteran or that they're serving. And then the auxiliary, they have their auxiliary membership that they'll show for the legacy side. And so if we have all that in the marriage license, because they currently have to be divorced or married, they can't be going through a separation. All custody arrangements with the kids have to be final. So if they can submit their marriage license, if they're married, then the helpline worker will send them the application when she finds out that they qualify. So they get the application, they'll fill out the application. Our helpline worker will get the application back and set up an initial interview. And that initial interview just goes over why the family wants to move to the national home, what the national home can do for them, and what goals they want to work on while they're at the home. The program is goal-based and it's strength-based. So it's helping the families work towards their goals to be able to transition to live on their own. So it could be anywhere from financial, you know, saving money to put down on a house, going back to school, getting a job, parenting classes, any goals that they want to set for themselves. And after that first interview, then they have a second assessment a week later that the case management team sits in on, and they go through like background of each person in the family and the kids to find out other, like, is there mental health or anything that we can get prepared to work with the family when they move here. And then once those assessments are done, we meet as a team and discuss the family. Once myself signs off on it, we send it up to the executive director who looks it over and signs off on it. And then at that point, it's turned back over to the case manager that we assign the family to, that we think will fit well with that family, and they notify the family and we get a move-in date, and then they move to campus. Our process right now can be done under 30 days. We did have a family that we had a quick turnaround. We got them in under 2 weeks. So we can do that if it's an emergency situation. But right now our goal is to have all of, when the families apply and move in, that it's all under that 30 days from the time that they start and call the helpline till they actually move to campus.
If I can speak to that just for a minute, Angie,
Mhm.
this is the importance of the relationships that we're building with you folks, because a family came from the West Coast and it was a commander of a post, or he was a past commander of the department who had been to the national home, and we'd had a relationship with him, and he worked very close with Angie and myself to get this family from about as far west as you can go, I think.
Utah.
Utah. I'm sorry. I was thinking it was Washington, but Utah. So anyway, that's, that was pretty incredible. So we lean on you for that too, to get into your communities and, find those people that need this amazing program. Go ahead, Ange.
And like Sue said, we currently have 7 open houses. So we're looking for families to move in. So if you know anybody, like Sue said, send them our way and we'll go through the process and see if we can get them on campus.
You all set with this, Don?
Yeah.
Any questions on the application process? I want to make sure I'm not, okay. I don't know why any question? I can't see hands. Let me look here. I got too many. Does anybody have a question? Is that you, Pat Rich? Do you have a question?
Sorry. Are you requiring, they were, before the new director came in, requiring that new people that came in, the spouses would join the auxiliaries and the person or the veteran would join the VFW. Is that still going on or no?
We are still pushing it out to them and kind of a big nudge for them to join.
Okay, because our numbers have really dropped in the last 3 years. We've lost probably 15 to 20,000 members.
So it's a heavily encouraged. Is that a fair way to say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But not a requirement.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? I'm toggling between the screens. So if I'm missing somebody, just unmute and I'm going to mute you back again then.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions for Angie? Currently, we have 80 children on campus and 50 parents with 7 available houses. Now, we were just going to go with the flow tonight. I have the website if you'd like me to pull that up. Is that of interest? How's that sound, Kathy?
Sounds good.
Okay.
The access online is important.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up. We just put a new banner in here. I've got to get rid of this here. Okay, so this is a scrolling banner on top. Here's your home front hero. Because of you guys, we put that right on the front. Can you see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you're receiving our newsletters that include the article Healing with Music. That is a program that was put together, Guitars for Vets. And there's a great blog on our website. And then our store. And remember, we kind of cleaned up our logo a little bit. We dropped the 4 children because it was very confusing to people. And the new look has gone over real well. See if I can get this. So Mike describes it as there was a television screen behind the tree is what I call it. So that just cleans it up and we drop the 4 children. These are items that will be available through convention and probably through state days. I was going to look and see if we could do it a virtual tour here. I'm kind of laggy on my end, so I don't know that it's where is it here? Let's see here. Here's our stories. Oh, here's our, we also have the Zooms on our YouTube page now too. We've tried to cut some of it out. Here's the virtual tour. Let me see if I can get this playing here.
Welcome to the virtual tour of the Kansas home at the VFW National Home for Children. This 2,456 square foot home was built in 1950 and to this day is still sponsored by the VFW Department of Kansas. The beautiful two-story brick home features 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. The Kansas home was officially dedicated in 1951. In a May 1951 article about the ceremony, the Kansas home was described as tastefully furnished in modern style. The large living room, the article said, is well supplied with comfortable chairs and sofas, all covered in neat plastic upholstery, which is more sanitary and durable than cloth covering. The kitchen, it said, would delight any housewife with its fine new electric range and light cubic foot refrigerator, copper-clad pots and pans, and an electric mixer. Other appliances provided include table model radio phonographs, sewing machines, and vacuum cleaners. A full basement provides additional recreational and storage space and houses the furnace and coal stoker. The Kansas home has been upgraded and modernized over the years. Though the coal furnace has been replaced with natural gas and central air has been added, it still retains much of the charm of the era in which it was built. Today, each of the homes in the National Homes community house not orphans and widows, but a single military or veteran family working to build a foundation for a healthy, stable life. We hope you've enjoyed this tour of the Kansas home. Thanks for watching.
So that gives you an idea of what we're trying to get all the houses as the families, move out. Do we want to watch one more?
Sure.
The ranch-style brick home features lots of mid-century modern flair. In an article about the Florida home's dedication, the home is described as having 4 master bedrooms, a house mother's bedroom, 3 baths, a kitchen, dining room, living room, and rumpus room. Its motif, both inside and out, was conceived to suggest Florida's vacation land climate. The original furnishings, estimated to cost $6,000, were of modern styling with liberal use of rattan, suggesting the informality of Florida living. Though the Florida home has been updated over the years, its beautiful architecture and charm remain true to 1959. Today, each of the homes in the National Homes community house not orphans and widows, but a single military or veteran family working to build a foundation for a healthy, stable life. We hope you enjoyed this tour of the Florida home. Thanks for watching.
So that gives you a little
Welcome
bit.
to the virtual tour of the Air Force
Sorry.
home at the VFW National Home for Children.
Sorry.
Shared with the Air National Guard home. The home was built in 2011
Where am
by
I
a
here?
National Home supporter who wishes to remain anonymous. This supporter served in the United States.
There we go. So that gives you an idea of some of the tours that we're working on putting on our website. Any other questions for anybody?
I would like to say something. Everybody, all the department chairmen know that we've been really working hard this year to get the auxiliary into a more supportive role of the National Home. And the way we have tried to do that is to get our auxiliaries to become home front heroes. Just a little brief overview, being a home front hero means that you're sending a regular donation every month to the National Home. And because you do it through this program, the money can go be used for the National Home to budget for their expenses, whether it's snow plowing or electrical bills or whatever it may be. They know that money's coming in so they can put it in their budget. In the past, most of us have just sent in donations on a regular basis, and they appreciate it and they use it all the time. They always have a need for it, but they can't count on it to come in to pay the bills. And so for that reason, I tried to really focus on home front heroes for us for the auxiliary this year. Some of us have done it, and some of us did it and they earmarked it for their own state home. And that's wonderful. South Carolina does the same thing. When we send in a donation to the National Home, oftentimes we send it into the contingency fund for South Carolina's home at the National Home. But it does not interfere and it does not take the place of your Homefront Hero donation. The Homefront Hero donation is important because they can put it in the budget. If you're donating, it's wonderful. They love you for it, but they can't put it in their budget. And you know, when you sit down yourselves to make your household, pay your household bills, you can only use the money in your budget. You can't go, oh, well, maybe I'm having a birthday next month, so maybe my mama's gonna send me a check. Can't count on it. That's why we're trying to get everybody to get into being a Homefront Hero. So as we go out of office in July, please encourage your auxiliaries to stay in the Homefront Hero program. And those of them that are not, explain the importance of it at the School of Instruction. If your new chairman doesn't understand the importance of being in a budget, help them understand how important it is to become a Homefront Hero, because that's how we can really help them and how they're able to pay their bills and help budget it. All of the rest of the stuff is fluff and they love it. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes down to paying the bills, they got to have that money come through the Homefront Heroes. Did I say that right, Sue?
You did. And
Okay.
one of the things, the good things about Homefront Hero is that when you sign up to be a Homefront Hero, if you put it on a credit card, then it's automatic and you don't have to write a check. And you also will stop receiving appeal letters, or I call them love letters from Sue. So that saves on your mail too. And that helps us save money, because then we will not include you in our direct mail appeals, because you're already giving a consistent amount and it's just being charged to your credit card. So yeah, you did a great job with that, Kathy, and appreciate that, because as we talked earlier this year, we have a strategic plan now, and every department has specific goals that we need to be working towards, and that's one of mine. So in development. So we appreciate that.
And make sure we pass it forward.
Yeah.
Because your auxiliary will probably vote again as to whether or not they, with the new president coming in through the auxiliaries, are going to want to continue that expenditure. And because it's you know, you still have to raise the money, it just goes in for this regular Homefront Hero. So encourage them, explain to your make sure your chairman can explain to your auxiliaries the importance of why would they want it that way, why we need to donate that way.
Yeah.
And you know, you can raise, and it's not gonna make any difference. I think $10 is the least up to whatever you want to give, makes no difference.
Yep, $10 a month. Yep, that's great. And if you need any of that information, you can order that on our website also. We have the little buck slips for Homefront Hero. Yeah, anything that you need for supporting or that we can do to support you when you're out talking and fundraising for us, and also looking for the residents. Another thing we've talked about, Kathy, recently was the off-campus services. And that's important to remember, that we're also there for folks that need support, but moving to the national home isn't right for them. The program folks will work with them even if they don't move to campus.
Right.
So that, help them find what they need, is the way we like to say it.
You also mentioned the fact that you're establishing QR codes. Everybody know what the QR code is? It's a little square with all the squiggly lines in it. You take a picture with your phone and put you where you got to go. Do you have one for the membership? Do you have the life membership?
I'm trying to, I don't know that that's on, it's on the website. Or what am I saying? On the life membership form. I need to make sure it's on that form. I had the eligibility document that has, the one on the eligibility document will take you right to the short application on our website, and the one with the general brochure will take you right to the donation page. So I need to make sure that there's one that's been put on the life membership form.
And not to keep hopping around here, Sue, because I
Oh,
know.
that's what we're doing.
Where are we at with the Wi-Fi and stuff for the home and for the Veteran Center? Are we still working on it? You got some needs that we need to focus on?
Lynn, if you want to jump in anytime on this, but we had our director meeting today, and it's my understanding that we're making headway and we're hoping to have new Wi-Fi this fall. Is that
Right.
correct, Lynn?
That is correct. We had a meeting on Tuesday with a IT firm that bid on the project, and we believe that we'll be able to, according to their plan, if they can get all of their materials in, that we would likely be able to start that at the beginning of the summer and wrap it up by late fall.
Lynn, talk money.
I'm sorry.
Now talk to us about how much money you're talking about.
Well, we're still waiting on some grants to come through. I'm sure you've heard on past conversations that Mike Wilson's been working with the Capitol, with the governor, with senators and representatives to bring in some grant information, or to bring in some grants to help cover this. So that is the ultimate goal. But even if we can't make that happen, we believe by putting this as a capital project for the home that we'll be able to make it happen this year.
So if we did a last minute fundraiser, let's say for May, and we could what would we call it if we wanted to call it something to try to help get that Wi-Fi in for the kids and the other people that need it at the home? Can you give me a
Well, we have a technology fund that's set up, and we could do because even if we do get funding from the grant side for the Wi-Fi, we always need, constantly we're changing out computers, we're on a floating schedule to keep updated. So we can come up with something to push the technology fund. That there's always a need for that, right, Lynn?
That is correct. And part of the presentation that they did, it gives us a lot of room for growth for the future. This solution that they have doesn't just get us through the next 2 years or 5 years, but ultimately gives us room if we were to develop more houses on campus, or even an apartment building, or tiny homes or condos. This takes Wi-Fi all the way out to the scout cabin and all the way down to the Montana farm. So it's definitely a growth project for future. This will last a long time.
Okay.
So in April,
Hear
Kathy,
that? Everybody hear that? Come up with some ideas, send them to me. Let's get it out there, and let's make it a big push for our last effort as chairman to get a nice little tidy sum for them to work with, maybe some new computers for the kids and the families. And in the Veteran Center, the Veterans Resource Center, also it's updating. So that would be a good project for us. I think unless somebody's got a better idea out there. Any chairman want to speak up? They got a great idea. Do you want us to work on? Paul? Unmute Paul over Alvarez. Sue?
I'm
There you
sorry.
go, Paul.
Okay, I'm not seeing him.
He's open.
Oh my goodness, I forgot, but something like, I don't. It's
Now
been
that
a
you're on
while
the
since I-
spot.
Yeah. But like our auxiliary, when we have like the functions and everything, sometimes they'll donate. Some people, like some of our 50/50 goes towards our towards our funds, but then some of it goes to like our Friday night dinners. or
Mhm.
Friday night things. You know, it goes to our
Relief-
not to our relief fund, but to my junior vice for the department.
Okay. Mhm.
And yeah, that's what I was thinking, you know, like have like a, see if my department would, you know, want to do that.
Certainly, that's also, that's a great idea, having the whole department do it rather than just independent auxiliaries, but one of them can overreach into the other. It doesn't mean just because you do one, you can't do the department as well as we do our auxiliary.
Right?
But
Oh,
the,
that's great.
and I was just thinking as Paul was talking about the idea of moving forward with this push for the Wi-Fi and upgrading all that, that is really that's really moving right into the back to school, you know, because kids today, they cannot function without it.
Yeah,
Have to have the Wi-Fi, and they not just for their own personal pleasure, but I know last time I was at my son's house and my granddaughter came in for school, she didn't have any books. She had an iPad, and
yeah,
all of the textbooks now are on the iPad.
yeah.
They don't
What-
they don't have it like they did when we went to school.
When
It's not different.
I'm
is your
actually in
promotion?
college.
COVID really definitely brought that into the forefront at the home when everybody started working from home and kids were doing school from home. Our IT person was in one of the houses trying to figure out why they, you know, they just kept getting the circle of death.
Mhm.
Nothing was working. It just kept circling and circling. Well, they had 28 different devices
Oh.
in their house connected to the internet. So that's, you know, you connect your phone to Wi-Fi, you connect your computer to Wi-Fi, you connect your,
Television.
Oh,
Television.
yeah.
your TV, your PlayStation, your Xbox, you know, and then your spouse connects their laptop, and then the kids all have theirs. And 28 sounds like a lot, but if you have, you know, 4 or 5 kids, it adds up fast. So, you know, and unfortunately in 1925, when they placed the national home in the middle of nowhere, they weren't thinking about Wi-Fi.
No, that's true. All right, so Lynn, I'm gonna leave it to you and Sue to give us a header. And I will get it out to the chairman, and we will see what we can do for the month of May. Is that agreeable? Everybody wave your hand if you're willing to work for it. There you go. We got so much.
When's your next promotion due, Kathy?
I don't have any more.
Okay, you're
Did
done.
the
Okay,
last one when I touched base with you.
okay,
Chairman, you'll be getting that in about a week or two, the last promotion that I did. But I
okay.
do send out program alerts, and I post on Facebook every now and then. So y'all will have to be, all of you will please look for the one following this last one, which will include this program that we're going to be working on last year with the idea of helping home get their computers and their Wi-Fi up and running and whatever they need that we can provide for them between now and the end of summer, so those kids will be ready to go back to school.
Yeah,
Okay?
I'll put something together for you, Kathy.
Great, that'll be great, and I'll make sure I get it out. As soon as she gives it to me, we'll get it out and see if we can't get a big push going before our conventions roll around in June, so.
Perfect.
And I believe they can do it. They've done everything else we've asked them to do, so.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we call it a Thursday night? Once again, I just want to thank everybody for taking time to chat with us. We really enjoy it. I appreciate Lynn jumping on, and we'll be next spring or next month. I'll try to get somebody from program that deals with like the work crew, 4-H, you know, so you can start meeting some of the other people that work at the National Home. I think that that's really important. And who knows, maybe we can get a pig on or a rabbit or something.
Maybe a little virtual tour with one of your kids and their pigs.
Yeah, maybe we can go down, have it down at the pig farm. So that's let's look real quick at April for a date. I know what is your 1, 2, 3? If I look at April 20th,
It sounds good.
I'm gonna right now I'm gonna pencil in April 20th. I just have to check a couple things at the office. And we'll be sending out this recording and also the next date that we'll meet.
Terrific. And everybody that is online, make sure you send me an email and say, I was at the meeting, so I can put it on your list of things that you've accomplished this year and give you credit for that. Okay?
Great. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it.
And thank you, Sue. Thank you for including us.
You
Good
bet.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.